Well, Mama slipped out the back, I think. We're waiting to see how long it is before she comes back with the food. See little ones moving about every once in a while in the bottom of the nest. Anticipating breakfast now. 14 days old today. They've reached the 2-week mark. Another 3 weeks they'll be able to fly up on the branches right above the nest. They'll be branchers. As they develop very quickly. And there she's back. Let's see what happens here. See, she brought him some breakfast. He's getting all maneuvered over here. And it looks like it's going to be feeding time again. Feeding time at the Cooper hawk nest. Well, we'll see if we see some little heads flying here when she starts divvying out the food. We know we got at least 3. We don't know how many more we got, so. It's all cute. Having a good snack here. Now we'll see the little heads flying. She keeps a stash over in the tree in case the male doesn't get here with the food, and she'll fly out. Because they like to feed them every couple hours, keeps them healthy. So we'll see how long this feeding is, and she just slipped out and slipped back in here. So we should see their heads pretty good today again. We'll try it there. I'm seeing the heads flashing off to the side. In another week, we'll get some better views of them. When she's off, they'll be playing a little bit. They're 3 weeks old. They'll be quite active in there. And if it warms up, well, then they'll really get active. We've been having a cool June this year, I'll tell you. Wet and cool. But she's been keeping them warm. Keeping them healthy. Well, there we go. Putting away the chow. Now, her little head on the right side. You can see it every once in a while. I'll look on the left. Got a leaf there. But on the right hand side, there, yep, there's his head poking out. He says, I want my turn. We're just lucky we can see through the leaves like we do. It's a hard nest to get a view on. There's no other angle you can get it. This is the only spot. We tried that. This is the only spot where you can see it. So we're happy with it. We've done all right. And like I say, when they get bigger and they're in there alone, they'll be playing and exercising. We'll get all that. And now she's just keeping them warm and healthy and well fed. All right, Mama. I didn't see how big the prey item was, but we'll see how long she feeds them. Make sure everybody gets a bite. And she'll have herself a bite, too. That's our female. They say not to name them, but we do. We named her Minnie Cooper. The male, we call him Gary Cooper because it just sounds good. All right, we watched this pair here, nested here for 4 years now. And each year they have 5, so Be interested to see what the head count is on the little ones this year. Like I say, even with all the sticks and the leaves, we counted at least 3 the other day, probably 4. But we'll see how they do. Now he's calling. I hear him giving the big call. That's different. Yep, he just flew by and checked up. There we go. He just flew by. Let's see what happens here. That's their cat call. That's amazing. So she was probably feeding with the stash, and then he brought in fresh stuff, some more food. So we'll turn it off for a bit and see what happens. She went over where he's at now, getting the other one ready. That's interesting.